Nope. No. Hi, and welcome to another session of UNC Talks. Today's session, did I start too early? Okay, one more time. Hi, and welcome to another session of UNC Talks. Today's session will be focusing on housing and dining. My name is Summer Barney, and I'll be your student moderator. I'm a senior art major with an emphasis in visual communication and a minor in English. I've loved living on campus, and I've also worked in dining services for the past 3 years.
Hey guys, my name is Bryson. I'm also going to be a student moderator. I'm a student ambassador here on campus. I'm also studying sport and exercise science, and I'm going to be graduating here in a couple days. So super excited for that. But I give those lovely tours around campus, and I've loved every single minute of it.
All right, before I introduce our guest speakers, I want to inform you that through our hashtag UNC Talks, you can be able to ask questions through Facebook, Twitter, our admissions webpage chat feature at unco.edu/admissions, and directly through the Google Hangout link sent to your email. We'll try to get through all of the questions, but if we do not get through all of them in our session, we'll make sure to answer them after the session through those social media platforms. Joining us today is Montez Butts, the Residential Education Director, and our student panel, who will be answering questions specifically for housing and dining. Hello everyone, and why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, starting with Montez.
Hello, my name is Montez, and I am the Director of Residential Education here at the University of Northern Colorado. I'm also a proud alum of UNC. I did both my undergraduate degree along with my master's degree in higher education here at the University of Northern Colorado. So as Director of Residential Education, I oversee all of the hall staff and our res halls and work to strengthen our programs and services for students. Welcome.
Hey guys, I'm Marissa, and I'm the Public Relations and Fundraising Coordinator for the Residence Hall Association. I just finished my freshman year here at UNC, and I'm a psychology major with a minor in criminal justice.
Hi guys, my name is Rebecca Smith, and I just finished my sophomore here at UNC. I'm a double major with English education and psychology, and I will be the Residence Hall Association president in the fall.
My name is Isaac Gonzalez, and I'm a student worker at Housing and Residential Education Office. I'm a sophomore here. I'm currently studying business finance and looking forward to helping out with more students on housing and residential.
Hi, I'm Kenna Clayton. I am currently the Senior Resident Assistant for North Hall, and I am just finishing my third year here at UNC. I've been an RA for 2 years, and I am looking forward to just continuing to connect residents to campus activities at the housing office.
Excellent. Thank you everyone for joining us. It looks like we're getting some questions, so let's start. The first few are dining related, so I'll take those. First, how good is the food? Are there a lot of different options? I have a lot of dietary restrictions. Are there options for that? And the answer is yes. We have great food here at UNC. There are chefs in each dining room, and they love being creative and making your dining experience a good one. There are a lot of different options in the dining halls, including specifically for dietary needs. There's the Dash, which caters to, it doesn't have any of the 8 major allergens, and you can also let the dining halls know what you're dealing with. They have a registered dietitian on staff to help you navigate the dining rooms. His name is Matthew Doyle, and you can contact him anytime at 970-351-1961 or at matthew.doyle@unco.edu, and he's happy to work with you. The next dining questions are, can you change your meal plan during the semester, or are you stuck with it until the end of the semester, or until the end of the year? And you are allowed to change your meal plan until the drop deadline, which is 10 days into classes each semester. And we recommend you take a look at your meal plan thoroughly before you start the school year. That way you know it and check with your schedules to make sure it fits your needs. And things change, and if you need, a different meal plan in the spring than you have in the fall, you're able to change that. And the easiest way to change your meal plan before classes start, before August 1st, is to go into the housing contract and alter your choices there. After August 1st, you can go to the online dining contract on the dining homepage and submit a new contract. And students who don't live on campus will be able to use the online dining contract to add meal plans and dining dollars to their account. And the final dining question we have is, how realistic is it to want to cook some of your own food? I love cooking and would love to keep doing it. Where would I be able to buy ingredients? Well, each hall has their own small kitchen, but it's not built to support a student making their meals every day. So we really would encourage you to utilize the meal plan that you have, since you have a lot of options there. There's salad bars, pizza bars, a variety of different foods. There's a stir-fry bar, and just a lot of stuff.
And lots of ice cream.
Lots of ice cream,
Walk
which
out with
is
an ice cream
delightful.
cone is my favorite thing
Yes.
to do.
And you can make your own sandwiches at a deli bar. But if you want to make cookies or some sort of study snack break, there is kitchens there, as well as in Lawrenson Hall or some of the student apartments. Those have kitchens, and you'll be able to make your own meals there. And ingredients, there are some at Walmart, which is nearby, and then
King Soopers as well,
King
which is right
Soopers.
down the street.
Mhm.
It's always a good place to go get some groceries, things like that. Things, little snacks, maybe to stock up your mini fridge as well is a really good option to do that.
And all right, that looks like all the dining questions we have right now. So this next question is for Marissa, and it's, hi, I'm an admitted student. I don't have a roommate, and I know that the university will choose it for me. But when will I know who my roommate is?
You can find out who your roommate is just by going to the URSA tab to find your room. They'll give a little information on your roommate, what information they have, are they clean, how often will they clean. To find out when you will see your roommate, it just depends on when they pick their room. They could choose it the last day it's available or the very first day, so you just have to keep looking on that and making sure you're updated on that.
All right, this next question is for Montez, and it's, how crowded are the dorms?
So each of our residence halls have a design capacity, and we attempt to not assign more students than we have space. Right now, we do have space in our residence hall, so if you have not applied for housing, I would encourage you to do so and submit your $200 deposit, and we will have space for you. So please definitely sign a contract.
Alrighty, so this next question is going to be for Rebecca. What's it like when you have to share a community bathroom? And do you want to maybe explain kind of what that community bathroom feels like as well?
Absolutely. So I've lived in the 2 residence halls that have community bathrooms for the past 2 years, and I know it's a big concern that a lot of students have, but in all honesty, it's one of the most convenient things possible. For one, you don't have to buy your own toilet paper, which I'm personally a fan of. But the custodial staff does clean it every single day, and that includes the toilets and the showers. They're never too crowded, so you'll always have a shower available, and you won't be running any risk of being late to class. It does take a little bit of things to get used to. It took me a little while to remember to bring everything with me, like my shampoo and my towel, but once you get that method down, it's really a good experience, and it doesn't seem as awkward as you might think. So I would encourage you to really not be too concerned about it. They are very clean, they're very safe, and you will never run out of time to get ready when you need to.
And one additional thing is privacy. From my experience, each shower is in its own stall with a door that you can lock, so that you are able to be by yourself. It's not like a communal shower room or anything. And this next question is, my friend and I really want to room together. I was wondering how I can request that we be roommates. How about you take this one, Kenna?
Good question. So what you're going to do is simply, both of you will need to communicate with one another. You can do that via email, or if you find each other on Facebook, you're welcome to do that as well. And simply just log into the housing contract website at the same time and just find the same room, and there you have it, your roommates.
Alrighty, this next question is going to be again for you, Kenna. Can we bring a crock pot into our dorm, and can we have 2 mini fridges?
Okay, so crock pots are allowed. Mini fridges, on the other hand, just 1 per bedroom. So if you happen to have a living room, you're welcome to keep 1 mini fridge in there and then have the other mini fridge in your bedroom.
Awesome. This next question is for Rebecca, and it's, can you choose your own roommate? If so, how and when?
Absolutely, you can choose your own roommate, and there are a couple different ways you can go about this. One of the most common ways to do so is to go to the UNC Administration Facebook page, and on that page you can find your community, and they have communities for you. And within that community, there's actually an app that you can start talking to other students that are going to be here and start making those connections. And then going back to what Kenna was saying earlier, once you find somebody that you're interested in rooming with, just do your best to log on to your housing contract and place yourselves in the same room, and then you will be roommates. So Facebook and social media is a really great tool. Another option is when you're in your housing contract, you can actually email and message other potential roommates through that system, and there's a little button in there that says contact and message, and so you can utilize that as well.
Alrighty, our next question is going to be for Montez. Does Lawrence and Hall come with a kitchen and appliances, or do we have to acquire them ourselves?
Yes, so Lawrence and Hall has, for the well, at least in the 4-person rooms, it comes with a refrigerator, a sink, a stove, and an oven. Students are required or responsible for getting any kind of personal dishware, glasses, and so forth. If you are in a Lawrence and Efficiency, which is a 2-person room, those come with a small refrigerator, freezer combo, and a microwave.
All right. This next question is also for Montez, and it's, will we be able to see our dorm room at orientation?
Unfortunately, no, for the most part. And the reason why is over summer, we do house a variety of camps and conferences. So chances are your space in your hall is occupied by a guest for summer. What we try to do is we work with the new student orientation staff, and we've identified one room per community so that during your orientation, you along with your group will have the ability to see a space in that community. But again, you will not be able to see your specific room.
All right, sounds good. This question is going to be for Marissa. This might be a common question a lot of the time, and a lot of our students have experienced this, but can you explain, what if you don't like your roommate?
So if you don't like your roommate, you can always go talk to your RA. That's what they're there for. And if you are having any kind of conflict with them, I would definitely suggest going to your RA if you are not one of those people who want to confront your roommate. So going to your RA would be my #1 thing, and if they can't help you solve the problem, then go to your hall director. But I would definitely recommend starting out with talking to your roommate. If there's a problem you guys can resolve, like, oh, hey, you're not cleaning the sink like you should be every other week. Let's talk about this. Just work out schedules and stuff so that there isn't any conflicts. If there are, your RA and your hall directors, that's what they're there for.
Awesome. This will be my last question because I have to go take a final, actually. But this next one,
students, I guess, right?
This next one's for Rebecca, and it's, how does one go about finding a roommate? Is there a Facebook page to find a roommate?
Absolutely. So just to reiterate, you can go to the UNC admin page on Facebook, and they have a community there as well. But there are a lot of really great tools that you can do through social media, through the Instagram and Twitter pages that UNC has. But also a lot of people meet their friends through orientation. And so if you're going to one of those earlier sessions and you're interested doing that, but definitely utilize that Facebook app on the UNC admin page and utilize that messaging system through your URSA account and the dining contract to find those roommates and to make those friends.
Alrighty, so this next question is also going to be for you, Rebecca. I'm nervous about picking a room. Is there a way to learn more about your roommates?
Absolutely. So when you go onto your housing contract under your URSA account, you can actually see if anyone has placed themselves in your room as well, and it will have their name, and you will both fill out a survey that talks about your music interests and how often you study and what times you like to go to bed, and you'll be able to pull up that information and see if you guys are compatible, and then you can also message them through there as well. And so once someone places themselves in your room, you can see that. Or if you're interested in placing yourself in a room, you can see the people that are already in there and see their survey responses as well, and kind of get a good idea. And so the survey does a pretty good job of giving you an overall look at what those people are interested in, what kinds of music, how they study, and get a basic, but they also provide you with some basic contact information if you have more questions.
All right, perfect. This question is going to be for Marissa. Is it possible to be roommates with other students who are not in your grade or class?
Yes, it's absolutely possible to be roommates with other people. I know a bunch of people who are roommates with people who are seniors and they're only freshmen, so you can roommate with anybody.
Alrighty, so this question is actually going to be for everyone, and we'll start with Montez and then kind of go down the line. What are some tips for living with roommates?
I would strongly encourage, well before you even arrive to campus, is that you contact your roommate, communicate about what exactly you're bringing to campus. We don't want you to duplicate. For example, we don't want you and your roommate to show up with a big screen TV, 2 microwaves. We want you to make sure that you're communicating and planning for your arrival to campus. And then once you get here, we have a series of activities through those 4 days that you're here. And one of the things we will have you do is we'll have you go through a roommate agreement. And I can't stress enough, I ask that in that process that you are open and you are honest about what you expect in your living situation. If you are uncomfortable with late nights, if you are uncomfortable with someone staying in the room as a guest, be very honest about those things, because what we see is if a student has difficulty being honest through that process, conflict will definitely come up. So again, like the students mentioned, certainly the RA, the resident assistant, is there to support you through that process. But if you start off without being, we start off not being truthful in that process, it will present problems. So that would be my greatest piece of advice.
So my piece of advice would be communication is key, like Montez was saying. You definitely want to communicate with your roommate constantly. Like if you go to bed at a certain time every single day, make sure your roommate knows that so that they're not keeping you up. If you have to study at a certain time, tell that to your roommate so that they know that's when they should be playing their music at ear-blasting speeds now. So make sure you are communicating with your roommate at all times.
Going off what Erin was saying, something else that I found was really helpful is even though you might be really close to your roommate, also make sure that you make an effort to include other people on campus, because of living in the same space with someone for a long time, you will have those moments where you just want to be alone. So find those spaces on campus that you can kind of be to yourself and you can shut the door and study and be quiet, and so you have that personal time. But also don't be afraid to meet new people outside of your roommate and to do activities with that as too. So kind of just make sure that you're broadening your spectrum, but also giving yourself that time away to study and to think and to kind of relax.
Going off of what she was just saying, I would recommend being open to going to activities. Like Montez was saying, there's going to be a lot of things going on that first weekend. When it comes to living with a new roommate, if you find yourself being stuck to your room, you find yourself being around them a lot, that can make it a little bit difficult. I would recommend that you find other people as well to be able to spend time with, not always being in your room, and yeah, just keeping that open mind to meeting new people.
Yeah. In my time as an RA here, I've seen that a lot of roommate situations have resulted from lack of communication. So like everyone else has been mentioning, communication really is key. Also being honest and being open, and simply, especially when in the beginning of the semester, when you and your roommates are filling out that roommate agreement, please be honest. And also, you're more than welcome to go to your RA for assistance on any sort of roommate issue.
Yeah, and just to add to that as well, I'd say, I mean, you've all mentioned communication. For me, that was definitely communication being key. I lived in one of our 4-person suites, and we all didn't communicate. We all brought 5 TVs and 5 Xboxes, so there's a lot of technology going on in there. Really didn't communicate, but overall, yeah, just keep that constant communication with your roommates and make sure that you're open and honest. And another thing I would add is don't be afraid of conflict, because there's definitely going to be some conflict, and there's some healthy ways to deal with that. So if you're up front and be able to deal with that conflict in a healthy manner, you're able to talk things out and just be able to do that. Also, I wanted to add, check out our blog on Tumblr, uncbears.tumblr. We're going to be adding a lot of articles this summer, specifically just for housing and things of that nature. So definitely check that out if you want some more resources for that. And we'll move on to our next question. This is kind of a lengthy question, but this is going to be for Kenna. Hey guys, I was in the first wave of housing and dining sign up, and I logged on and I was assigned to room 409B. And I was also assigned to 3 other roommates. And I had met a guy on the UNC app, and I wanted to be roommates with him, and when I tried to sign up, I wasn't able to. Just hoping you guys could help me out with this all and get the roommate that I want.
So it looks like you might have assigned yourself to an RLC. So when you filled out the housing contract, you most likely indicated that you were interested living in a certain residential learning community. So what that means is that based on like your major or a certain interest, you indicated that, hey, I want to be a part of that nursing RLC or that business RLC. So it looks like other people indicated too that they wanted to be part of that community, so all of you were placed together. However, you're more than welcome to opt out of that room that you were already assigned to and simply just choose another room with your friend.
All right, perfect. This next question is going to be for Montez. Is it too late to apply for housing?
No, it is not too late to apply for housing. So please take a look at our website, apply for housing, submit your $200 deposit, and we will get you housed. Please note our full refund deposit deadline has passed. That was May 1st. So if you apply and you decide to cancel in the month of May, you will only receive half of your deposit. If you cancel after June 1st, you can still cancel, but you will forfeit your full deposit. But we do have space, and we are happy to house you.
All right, thank you, Montez. This question is going to be for Marissa. Is it better to try and find a roommate and choose one, or let UNC match you with one?
Well, I would definitely say let UNC match you with one. Coming to college is all about meeting new friends and, of course, all your studying. But meeting new people, getting to know other people, so having the college assign you a roommate would really help you expand your horizons and meet new people.
All righty, sounds good. This next question is going to be again for Montez. Is there certain housing for individuals with different orientation?
So at the University of Northern Colorado, we actually have gender-inclusive housing in all of our spaces. So what that means is if you are over the age of 18 and you choose to live in a mixed gender room, you would submit your application, indicate that as a preference, and we both roommates would have to sign an agreement that they would want to live in this type of environment. If one student moves out, it does default back to single gender, but that in general is our process. We also have a GLBT spectrum community also, so if you want to live within that community, we also have that as an option as well. So.
All right. This next question is going to be from Isaac, or for Isaac. If you're in the honors program, are we allowed to change the room we're in on the room assigning days, or is it set for us?
Yeah, kind of going off of what Kenna was saying earlier, when you're placed in one of those communities, you're definitely not locked into that community. If it turns out that it's something that you don't prefer anymore, you have an interest in something else, potentially a different building, you have that privilege to be able to go and search up rooms, see what's available through May 31st. You can search in, if anything's available, you're perfectly fine with going in and selecting that room to switch yourself into.
All right, thank you, Isaac. This next question is going to be for Rebecca. What are some of the housing programs that we offer?
So as part of housing, we have hundreds of programs that go on every single year. The resident assistants in every single community put on programs from ice cream socials to s'mores parties and field days. And if you're interested in throwing those kinds of things and planning those for your halls, you can join community council when you are here in the fall. Applications will come out about the first month of school, and you can find them at your front desks. It's similar to student councils that you would find in high schools, but these organizations work to not only plan programs for the communities, but give them skills and tools that they need to be successful and to be inclusive. And we also have a campus-wide programming committee. That's the University Programming Council. They put on our spring concert, and they put on other really large events throughout the year, as well as the Residence Hall Association puts on some carnivals and some casino nights and things that are for all of campus. So you have a wide range of programming from ice cream socials all the way up to campus-wide activities. And so there's always something for everyone that you can find, and you will always have something to do when you're here on campus.
All right, this next question is going to be for Isaac, and I know we touched on this just a little bit ago. Do you know the latest time you can apply for housing? Because I am not set up for classes yet, or should I do it now because I'm a transfer student who is also a veteran?
Yeah, on that, I'd look to doing that as soon as possible. Your deadline to do that really is going to be pushed up pretty close to when we're starting classes and everything. But I would recommend you do that as soon as possible. Spots tend to go pretty quick, and students assign themselves. So I would definitely recommend getting that done as soon as possible and just being on top of it.
All right, thank you, Isaac. This next question is going to be for Kenna. So I have a question. If we're already assigned a room and a roommate, do we have to worry about anything on May 1st for picking a room, or is it just decided for us already?
So if you were already decided on a room and assigned a roommate already, so that probably means that you were assigned to a residential learning community. So technically you don't have anything to do on May 1st if you've already been assigned, or May 4th, depending on when you filled out your contract. However, if you want to switch your room or switch your roommate around, meaning that you want to be in a different room with a different roommate, then you're welcome to go back onto the site and simply select a different room.
And right back at you, Kenna. Another question is, when can we apply for the residence hall we want to live in?
So that opens on May 1st for people that have submitted their housing contract application from, I believe, December to February 15th. And then from then on, students that have submitted their housing contract after February 15th will be placed into Group 2. So that means they're able to start choosing housing May 4th. So since it's already May 7th, everyone is welcome to select a room up until the end of the month.
All right, this question is going to be for Isaac. Does anyone know if you can opt out of living in honors housing?
Yeah, definitely for when it comes to living in those type themed / community learning communities, at least, you are definitely not locked into being in there. As long as you want to switch out, you're perfectly fine with that. Just log back into the site, see what's available, and then go ahead and switch yourself into another room if you see something that you like and that it's available.
All right, thank you, Isaac. This question is going to be for Montez. Do you know how to confirm that you've decided on UNC?
Yes, so if you are required to live on campus, I would definitely submit your application for housing. That will confirm certainly your decision to attend the university. Also, I would sign up for orientation as well. If you live in the local area with a parent or guardian, you will need to submit a living in the local area form here in our main office. We do require that you bring your ID along with your parent and or guardian's ID, and the addresses on both of those pieces of identification do need to match up. But either way, that would confirm your attendance to the University of Northern Colorado.
All right, thank you, Montez. This question is going to be again for Isaac. Does anyone know where on the housing application you put down the actual name of the roommate you want? So just kind of dealing with picking a roommate that you've already selected that you want to live with.
Yeah, when it comes to picking a roommate, we don't necessarily take a request for a roommate. What we suggest to students is that when you find someone, say on our Facebook page, just know someone that's coming to UNC as well. We just recommend that you team up with them. Look at when you're able to pick, whether it's that May 1st day or May 4th. If you both happen to be on one day, you go ahead, sign in together at the same time on 2 different computers, see what's available. If you find a room that has 2 spaces, go ahead and try to get yourselves both into there right when you see it. If you are on 2 different dates, say one of you's on May 1st and the other's on May 4th, I recommend to students on May 1st that you at least put yourself in a spot to have yourself in a spot for sure. And then wait for your friend on May 4th. If there is an opening in your room still, then your friend can try to get into there. But if there isn't an opening, then you, like I said earlier, you still have that privilege through May 31st to be able to go in and switch yourself into any available rooms. So that's how you'd go about it for roommates at least. Just look to team up with someone, if it's a friend, someone you meet on Facebook, and try to get in the same room at the same time.
Sounds good. This question is going to be for Montez. What are the important kind of dates for housing? Do you want to just explain that, the ones that have kind of passed, but also the ones that are coming as well?
Yeah, so for the most part, a critical deadline has passed for the full deposit. Again, that was here this past May 1st. From this point on, the month of May, students, the Find Your Room link is live. So at this point, you can continue to move around. You can stay in your room. That's perfectly fine. For the month of June, if you have not selected a room, our assignments coordinator will pick a space for you, and you will be able to see that in our system and also see who your roommates are. So that'll happen in June. One other thing I mentioned a little bit earlier, so if you look to or looking to cancel your housing contract, you have until May 31st to get your deposit, at least 50% of your deposit back. Again, if you cancel after June, you will completely forfeit your deposit. So those are some dates to be mindful of. And then, of course, move-in is August 20th.
All right, thank you, Montez. This question is going to go back to Isaac. Can you tell me if you can pick a residence hall specifically by the hall, or can you only pick them from Central and West Campus?
Yeah, when it comes to selecting a room, finding a room at least, you can definitely select a building. It gives you the option to select which area of campus. So you would select either West or Central Campus, and then from there you would select a building. What we do recommend to students in this, I would recommend that you search the area. Sometimes there tends to be problems with students searching West Campus, but then searching a building that's on Central Campus, and so that just causes a problem in seeing what's available. It would show on there that there is nothing available when there possibly could be because you're looking at the wrong side of campus, the wrong building. So what I recommend to students is pick a preferable side of campus, search that side, just see what's available on that whole side of campus, and then kind of go from there and narrow down your buildings, what your top choices are, what your least choices. But yeah, just kind of choose the side of campus instead of a specific building.
Sounds good. Thank you, Isaac. Next question is going to be for Kenna. I know this is a very similar question that we've been answering, but we're getting a lot of them. If I'm in Group 1 for housing and the person I'm planning to room with is in Group 2, how does that work?
So it's suggested if you want to room with an individual, say you're the person that is in Group 1 and your friend's in Group 2, it's suggested that you simply wait until when Group 2 is able to select the room. However, you're welcome to reserve a space for you in a room if you want to go in on that May 1st date and select your room right away. However, you're more than welcome to change it around if, say, another person simply reserved another spot in that room too, and that means that your friend wasn't able to be in that room. You're simply welcome to both then be able to choose a different room.
Okay. This next question is going to go back to Montez. Can you still fill out the housing application even if you have not 100% decided on UNC?
Yes, you can certainly submit your application and submit also your housing deposit, which is $200. Again, if you decide to cancel at any point, just be mindful that the 50% deposit deadline is at the end of May 31st, so you have until that point to cancel to receive that half of your deposit back. If you cancel after June 1st, you do forfeit your complete deposit. However, you still can cancel. Once the school year begins, the full contract goes into effect.
Okay, and we just got another question in. This one's going to be for Rebecca. What are some of the student support services in the halls?
Oh, this is such a great question. The halls have a lot of support for students, and the first and foremost is your resident assistant, and every single hall has one. You will meet them in the first week of class, when you move in the first week of classes, and they will be your go-to support. They are there for anything from roommate conflicts to wondering where your classes are and anything that you can possibly imagine. We also have a really unique program here at UNC that's known as our Diversity Mentor Program, and they are individuals that are in every single hall that focus on diversity and inclusion. So if you have any questions about diversity in terms of culture and race or identity, they're your go-to. They go through weeks and weeks of training to get these things done, and they also put informational programs on throughout the year, and there is one of them in every single hall. And so there are a lot of different resources that you can go through from there. And as I mentioned earlier, every single hall has a community council, which is like a student council body made up of roughly 6 members, but every single person in the hall can join. And they program, they put on events, and they also advocate for your community. So if there's something you'd like to see changed or something that you'd like to have be different, you can go to community council and they can bring it up and try and figure out a solution for you as well. So there are a lot of different resources here on campus, not to mention the resident learning communities that we've been talking about. So if you ever have any questions, you can always find the answers within your halls.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. This next question again is going to be for Montez. Do you know if I can complete the housing application for the pet-friendly dorms if I don't have all of my roommates set in stone yet?
Yes, you can. You just need to, indicate that in the housing contract that is your preference for housing. 2, you'll need to submit some additional documentation. We have a pet agreement along with a rules of conduct document that also needs to be completed. The one thing I do want to remind folks, please do not, until you get an approval from the hall director of the building, which is Lawrence Hall, on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors, until you get an approval, please do not go out and get a pet. We want to make sure that you go through the steps, complete all of the agreements, along with attend an orientation, and then once you get the green light, that approval email from the hall director, you and your roommates can move forward and participate in that program. But again, please hold off on getting a pet until that is officially approved.
So Mr. Tickles might have to wait until you get them approved, is kind of what you're saying. Next question again is going to be for Montez. Speaking about Lawrenson, is there a meal plan required for Lawrenson?
So no, there is not a meal plan required in Lawrenson, nor in our apartment communities, so University Apartments, along with Arlington Park. However, I do encourage people still to take a look at optional meal plans. There are smaller meal plans you may want to consider, just in case you don't want to cook in the evening, or if you want to spend time with other UNC students in the dining hall. It still might be a good option for you to have, but it's certainly not required.
All right, it looks like we're at our last question for the day. This is going to go back to Montez. Can you explain exactly what Lead On is?
Yeah, so Lead On is our leadership camp, which happens about 4 to 5 days prior to the actual halls opening. So we look to bring in about 150 to 200 students. Students have to apply for this leadership opportunity, and it is just a fantastic way to jumpstart your experience here at the University of Northern Colorado. We match you in to what we call family groups. So there are approximately 6 other students from your res hall that you will participate in activities, attend programs and events, social activities in the evening. And typically what happens at the conclusion of Lead On is this group is a pretty close, pretty tight-knit. They help out even on August 20th with the other freshmen moving in on those days. And it's just a wonderful way to start your experience here at UNC. And after the actual school year begins, Lead On, still there are additional activities that brings that group back together. So whether it be a social pizza night, a spring activity, there's still ongoing activities. So it's a great way to solidify and jumpstart your experience here at UNC.
All right, thank you, Montez. It looks like we're all done with our session today on housing and dining. Wanted to thank our panelists so much for being here, and personally wanted to thank everyone for joining us today. Want to remind you that our housing office is open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. You can also contact them by phone at 970-351-2721. And please remember, if we did not have time to get to your question, we'll be sure to respond on social media and get all of your questions answered. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and go Bears!